Alright, so if you don't know, .NET has a secure string class that keeps some text data or string data encrypted in memory so that it helps a little bit on privacy. It's not totally foolproof or your end-all be-all to all your security problems, but it'll help for some use cases. So for things like financial data, passwords, connection strings that you may load up on your app startup, or you may load from the database an object that has this, maybe a user password, and it's going to live a little bit in memory, we'd want to use the secure string class instead of just keeping their password as just a regular managed string in memory. So they have a little write-up here. You can see that it's a sealed class, so we can't inherit from this and add whatever methods we need. We have a few other things, append char. So this is how you populate the data. It has a length property. It has make read only, so we can convert our instance into an immutable object so that no one else can tamper with the data. And they have a little example here that shows you how to populate data, but they don't ever show you how to get the data back out. So, yeah, whatever that is. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to populate it and get the data back out. So we have two imports at the top. We have system security, which has the secure string class in it, and then we have system runtime interop services that has the Marshall class that we'll need to convert the character array pointer that holds this data from the secure string into a managed character array, and then we'll join that into a string again. Okay, so we have this variable here with some very secret text that we want to keep in memory, but we want it to be encrypted while it's in memory. So secure string implements iDisposable because it does have some unmanaged resources. So in this example, we'll use the using statement. So using secure string, and then what we need to do is we need to convert this string here into individual characters and append that one by one. So we'll just use a for each loop and then call this to character array, and then we will just say secure string append char, and we'll populate that. So now outside of this array we want to make our secure string immutable, so we'll call make read only on that, and now we're good to go. So this data is now in the secure string object. It's encrypted in memory, and that's all good. But now we need our end user or whatever needs to get this data back out and use it in some meaningful way. Since secure string is a sealed class, we can either make a method that does this, or we can use an extension class to add an extension method onto secure string, and that's what we'll do here. So we'll have to create a static class, and we'll just call it secure string extensions. And in here we'll have one public method, public static. It'll return a string that we'll use, and we'll just call this get string. Okay, and now our method for an extension method, we need to have this, our secure string, our class, and we'll just call it source. So first thing we want to do is make sure that this isn't null. So if it is null, let's throw a new argument null exception. Okay, so now that we have that, let's get the length of our secure string here. We'll need this for when we create our character array to pre-populate it. Let's create our result string, and we'll just go ahead and return result here so we don't forget about it. Okay, so now we need two other things. We need a char array, and we'll just call this chars, and we'll go ahead and initialize this with the length of our string. And here's where it gets weird. So we need to use pointers and the marshal class to marshal the SecureString's character array pointer back into some managed objects. So we need to create our pointer, and we'll initialize this to int pointer 0, and let's have a try catch finally block here in case something bad happens. So we have our try, let's catch just an exception, and then we need a finally. So in our finally here, let's go ahead and write the code for this. So we need to check if our pointer is not equal to int pointer 0. Then we need to use a class on the marshal, a method on the marshal class, and it's bstr0 free pointer, and we'll just pass our pointer to this. So that will zero out our pointer. Okay, and let's go ahead and populate this catch. We'll just throw a new invalid operation exception and say could not get data from secure string. Okay, and then we'll pass that exception as the inner exception. So just give a little indication of what happened, and what really happened can be in the inner exception. Okay, so now we need to get this data out. So what we'll do is we need to assign our pointer to marshal.SecureString bstr. Okay, and we'll pass in source. So this will get our character array pointer out of that secure string and assign it to our local pointer here. Okay, so now that we have that, we need to use marshal again and the copy method. And we have our pointer as the source. We're going to copy to our chars array, so our unmanaged resource, copy that to our managed resource, and how far we want to, where do we want to start and how far do we want to go. So we want to start at 0, and then we want to go to the length of that string. Okay, so now that we have that, we need to now just assign our character array back to our result string. So result equals string.join, and we'll just use string.empty, and we want to join the chars on a string.empty. Okay, so now that we have that, everything should be good to go. So right after our make read only, we can do a console.writeLine, or write, it's hard to talk and type at the same time. So we could do a toString here to see what we get by default, and then our console.writeLine, and then we'll write out SecureString.getString to call our extension method. Okay, so now let's run this and see our results. Yes, allow. So here we are. We get the default toString, that's just the fully qualified name of the class, and then we get our actual results from inside that secure string. So pretty easy. Yeah, it's a little weird that they don't provide another way, or that they keep that in unmanaged resources and we have to do the marshalling back to a managed resource in C#, but it is what it is. You can use this extension class and just import the namespace wherever this thing lives to easily get at that data. Okay, so hope you like it. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. Thanks.